And it's so crazy to predict stuff, man, because prior to the season, if I told you the Jaguars would be in first place entering the Thanksgiving weekend, you'd say, yep, that I can see. But we'd be talking about them coming off of a destruction of the Titans that had Mike Vrabel fielding questions about his job security. And they would be going into Houston needing to win this to avoid a sweep at the hands of the Texans, who would take over first place on Thanksgiving weekend. Now, that's the rub. What do you think about this current game for both teams in the AFC South, Maurice?
Rich, listen, even when I played back in the day, the Houston Texans were really good, or we were really good. It didn't matter. That game was always tough for the Jacksonville Jaguars for whatever reason. And this is one of those ones where they lost 37-14 early in the year. And as a young team, and I'll say this, I think the Jags offensively have the most talent in the NFL. I think the Jags defensively have one of the most complete defenses in the NFL. The thing is that they're young and they're still learning how to play together. And as they continue to grow, they're going to have to go through some adversity. Well, this is going to be one of those adverse moments against the Houston Texans team that you lost to, that put 37 up on your defense, that stifled your offense, which we saw the Niners do a couple weeks ago. How can you handle the success against the Tennessee Titans? How can you prepare this week to go into Houston with a young quarterback who's an MVP candidate playing lights out? Even though he turns the ball over, he finds a way to win. How can you go out there and beat a team that's kind of riding a lot of momentum? Now, that comes down to your quarterback play. It comes down to how you're going to utilize Calvin Ridley and Christian Kirk. How are you going to get Travis Etienne the ball? And then Evan Ingram has to step up and have a huge game, I think, in this one. And then defensively, you have to be able to cover Tank Dell. I think they possibly can get Pierce back this week, who has one of the greatest, angriest runs against the Jags last year, right? So there's going to be a lot of situations for the Jags defense and offense to step up and make plays. But I think the end of the day is this, and no one's talked about this. The Jags throughout, I think it was OTAs, the Denver Broncos cut Brandon McManus, who's still one of the top kickers in the game, and he's been kicking very well. If it comes down to a field goal and the Jaguars have an opportunity to win it, I think they have the edge in that one.
I don't know. The Texans have a running back who can kick it.
They do, right? Well, listen, Rich, let me say this too. The whole devaluation of the running back position.
Yes, sir.
Again, the more we can do everything. We can block, we can run, we can catch. Now we can kick. What else do you want us to do? Pay us. It's time.
All three phases, man. All three phases.
It's just unbelievable.
Did you ever kick?
Only in Pop Warner. Never got a chance to do it after that.
So what was the Pop Warner Maurice Jones-Drew field goal range? What was the range?
Oh, we had to score. We had to score. It wasn't good. I was the punter and the kicker.
Okay.
I want to say sixth grade year. And every time we'd punt, they'd tell me to act like I would run and then punt it, or just take off and run. Field goal kicking was a little spotty though. And like I said, I understand if the game is on the line, how that heart rate gets high. You got to be able to bring it down and focus on the things. I miss majority of them though, for sure.
So let me just revisit this before I let you go here. So you're saying Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Ridley, Kirk, Zay Jones, and Evan Ingram. That's the best offensive collection of weaponry in the National Football League. They're just young, and that's why we don't talk about them as the best weapons. Are you really you're saying that?
I mean, if you look across the league, Rich, look at some of the teams and what they have. You talked about 3 receivers. 2 possible number ones, and Christian Kirk is a 1,000-yard receiver, and Calvin Ridley. Evan Ingram comes in as another receiving threat at tight end. Zay Jones is a deep threat who has made some amazing catches and big plays throughout his career. Travis Etienne at one point was leading the league in broken tackles. I don't know if he's still doing that at all now, but he still has the home run hitting ability. And you have a quarterback who can make every throw and run the ball as well, as he went for the Tennessee Titans, 2 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing. Just tell me any other team that has that right now.
What you can chime in, TJ.
The Lions, maybe?
The Lions?
Who's their second receiver?
I mean, they got Amon-Ra. It could be Jamison Williams, right?
Laporta. But he's a tight end.
He's talking about the whole. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the Eagles? when Goddard's healthy.
Yeah, well, I would say the Eagles are close.
About the Cowboys.
They're close, but who's their third receiver?
Who's the Eagles' third receiver? That's a good one. Okay. Yeah. Let's keep going.
Okay.
Cowboys have CeeDee Lamb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Tony Pollard isn't. I mean, he finally scored a touchdown this last week for the first time since week 1.
Right. That hasn't been good.
No, ETN's a Pro Bowl running back. You got to have a Pro Bowl running back and a young stud quarterback, right? I mean, who else? Let's keep going here. What about the Dolphins? What about the Dolphins?
The Dolphins have who's their tight end? I don't know who their tight end is, and I think their two receivers are Tyreek Hill and.
Does it matter who their tight end is? Does it matter? You know what I mean?
If we're gonna say complete, we got to have someone at the tight end doing something.
Niners.
The Niners are close, but I think Zay Jones is better than Jennings, and that'd be your third receiver in that situation.
Brockman, you got anything here? You're awful quiet over there.
No, I'm just thinking.
Who else?
I mean, I want to say the Patriots, obviously.
Nice.
But, Seattle has a nice trio of receivers, but I think Evan Ingram is better than whatever tight end they put out there.
Right, Fant, right?
Will
Disley.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see. Okay. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.